Alright, I want to get back to the philosophy of this crap. I realized this morning, for one reason or another, I'm kind of taking advantage of the weather. I'm on the front porch this time. Outside, it's wet. I think my butt's wet. I don't think I dried the chair off. And then I sat down on a towel. I'm going to take the towel out of here. Yeah, that's a little drier. There's something that people really shouldn't do, and that's underestimate me. Now, I say that because I made mention of indirect and direct solutions in the last thing I did, and the last little talk I gave was, I don't know, it was a little weird. I mean, I looked at it, I watched it a couple times, and it's still kind of weird. I actually recorded a dream in the middle of the night the other day, and accidentally deleted it from my tablet. I didn't delete it, I put it on my computer, but it looked like I deleted it, so I didn't post it, because it's weirder than my last thing, the one I did about hope in Jesus Christ. Because in that one, I don't think I really explained it. I'm not really a Christian. I'm not really a religious person. It's mostly because I over-intellectualize things. I used to be a perfectionist when I was a kid. As little as 10 years ago, I told people I became an idealist, which is basically a watered-down perfectionist. But lately, I can't say that I'm either one of those things. I believe I'm more of a realist. And as far as religion goes, I think religion's a wonderful thing for a lot of people. And I think it's a terrible thing when it's weaponized. Because that's what history showed, that religion has been weaponized. The Crusades and the jihad and all kinds of stuff like that. That is weaponized religion. So maybe that's me intellectualizing religion. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I use Jesus Christ as a role model. And insofar as that, I am more of a soldier for Jesus Christ than I am a follower. Because as much as I've actually studied Jesus, I don't think he really wanted people to follow him. I think he only wanted people to follow his example. He wanted people to be more like him. And the world would be a better place if more people were like Jesus. Not necessarily... See, I'm reluctant to say anything because I wholeheartedly believe that people who have been saved, people who have been born again, people that follow Jesus are doing a good thing. It's very beneficial. And I get myself hung up sometimes because I see too many aspects. There's not just black and white for me. There's multiple, endless shades of gray. And it makes it complicated. And I've often told people that I'm complicated in my simplicity because I'm trying to simplify things for myself so I can understand. Now, I'm making these videos because I'm trying to maybe help other people understand because of the pain and the trials and tribulations that I've been through myself. Which prompted me to do this because, as I've said before, I'm doing these as they present themselves. And what I realized this morning is that a lot of times people will make assumptions about me and think that I think a certain way, or I am a certain type of man, or that there's no way I can understand a particular concept. But truth be told, real quickly, I have 3 failed marriages. I have 3 failed corporations. I was caregiver for my mom for 3 years. I've been in 3 motorcycle accidents. All three of those were independent solo accidents. I didn't hit anybody. I wrecked all by myself. I'm sure there's probably going to be some other threes. When I was 15, 16 years old, I had all my teeth pulled, except for 4. Had dentures ever since then. In fact, I still got the same teeth. Because life kind of got in the way, and I was supposed to get a new set of teeth like 10, 15 years after that. I never did, so I'm still kind of limping on these teeth I got when I was 16 years old, which maybe sounds a little crazy. I never really thought about it until now. But I've been through some stuff. Finding out my best friend was a pedophile, threw me for a loop. I mean, I've pretty much the last couple of years been suffering from PTSD, and I'm past that now. I'm not really sure what happened, but I can deal with it. I finally got closure. Some people that are the 3 of you that are watching are probably you probably saw the word violent, and you know how I got my closure. But that's a rotten thing. I mean, shit, pedophilia is like the worst thing in the world to me. I mean, it's worse than murder. And, I could discuss that at length, but that's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is I'm considering the fact that people actually do underestimate me, and they do make assumptions about me, not realizing that when I say something, the only time I really say something is if I already have a handle on it. And I can, I understand a particular concept. If I don't understand a concept, and I don't really get it, I don't really grok it, then I'm going to ask a question, or I'm going to ask multiple questions. Because that's what I am. I'm about questions. I'm not really about answers. Hopefully what I'm presenting when I talk here is our questions. Because there's a lot about humanity that I just don't understand. I know about good things with religion. I know about good things associated with politics. I know bad things that are associated with politics. Pedophilia, I can't think of anything good. There's nothing good about that. And there are other things in this world, other practices and activities that there's nothing good about. But my entire life, I've looked for the good in things. Which has kind of made me a little bit naive at some points in my life, because by constantly focusing on the good things and trying to find the good aspects of people, I've totally neglected the darkness. I haven't seen the black side of people, the dark side of people, and then it hits me by surprise. And that can happen. So, at the same time, I've always been talking about balance. It was kind of lying to myself, because I wasn't really looking for balance, because I was kind of ignoring the blackness that some people have in them. Like they do themselves. People ignore their own darkness and make excuses for it and whatnot. And think it's just human and it's okay because other people are doing it. Like lying and cheating and stealing. Things like that, because other people are doing it, it's okay for them to do it. So people lie to themselves. And I've said it before, that's the worst kind of lie. The worst kind of lie is to lie to yourself. Okay, so my point here is people that don't really understand that I understand. Because if I don't understand, I'm going to ask questions. And I won't lie to you. Because that's just the way I'm built. I used to try to lie when I was younger, but I always got caught. The universe, God, never let me lie. Because I always got in trouble. I always got caught. And then stealing, I stole some things when I was a kid. I mean, hell, when you're a kid, you do stupid shit. But that all changed when I got ripped off. When I had stuff stolen from me and when I felt violated. Now, some people can steal their whole lives, or lie their whole lives, or cheat their whole lives, and they never get cheated on, they never get lied to, and they never get stolen from. So they just keep doing it. So it's because they were never taught the lesson. I've been taught a lot of lessons, and I don't know why. The only thing I can think, I almost posted a question on Facebook one day, and I was going to ask, am I the only one that feels like everybody I've ever met, everything I've ever done, every word I've ever heard, every lesson I've ever learned was for a reason to get to the point where I'm at right now? But then I think, that's just kind of crazy, and sometimes, you got to be careful. You got to be careful about what you say, because then people think you're crazy, And then, at the same time, of course, if you think you're crazy, you're probably not, because people that are crazy don't know it. So I got to remember that. But there's this balance thing. And I made mention in that talk I did on hope and Jesus Christ about direct and indirect solutions. So, trying to keep this on the philosophy type level, and I've been trying to stay away from the politics of things. But there's stuff going on in the world that really, it kind of upsets me, because I've got friends that are very much on the left. And I think part of the reason for that is I used to be very much on the left. But along the way, I educated myself, and I realized that a lot of what's on the left is very communist. I mean, socialism is really just another term, another name for communism. And communism is an identity thief. Collectivism is a robber of individualism. It seems ultimately, if it succeeds, then human creativity goes down the toilet. That's the way I perceive it. Because individualism, and I think part of this is because I'm an artist myself. I've taken photographs. I play guitar. I write songs. I've actually wrote a novel that I haven't been able to sell, but all right. So, we're not going to leave that open. But art is dependent on individualism. Let's get a little bit. So, art. Okay. Art is dependent on individualism. If everything goes collectivist, as socialism and communism are, and fascism too, for that matter, art has to suffer. It just has to. But the whole thing is, as human beings, we need science and art. We need both. But what I've seen happen in society is science has been used as an excuse to destroy art. Science has been an excuse to destroy humanity. Because when you destroy individualism and you get everybody thinking the same collectivist thought, then basically what you're doing is you're destroying humanity. I don't know if I'm really explaining that. But when art goes away, what do you have left? You have a bunch of robots, okay? And there's people that feel like we're endangered by artificial intelligence. And I am becoming super low tech. I mean, I'm very good at fixing technology. I got to go do some of that today. I'm getting ready to leave, but I'm taking a few minutes to do this. And I'm doing it on my front porch. Neighbors. Well, I don't see any of my neighbors, so they might not even know I'm doing this. But the whole thing is, oh, yeah, I got tech in my ear. So, I'm not anti-tech. I just think that there's a point where you got to put up a fence and you got to stop. You got to stop with the technological development. You got to stop with the updates, and you can't let machines start doing your freaking thinking for you. Jesus Christ, I mean, do we really want to make that sacrifice? Do people really want to sacrifice their intellect? I mean, I can kind of understand people that are mindless, people that don't do any thinking. Maybe that's good for them. But for people that want to think, people that want to solve problems, people that want to take care of their family and help their family grow and progress, be real progressive, not socialist progressive, because that term is freaking misused. But to be really progressive, to understand the scientific process, to understand the creative process, to be artful, to be mindful, to be really, truly progressive, to be an individual, to develop your own brain, to develop your own heart, and develop your own body. To be conscious of all those things. That is being right by God. That is being right by humanity. All my life, I felt that improving myself was my obligation to God. That was my job. My job is to be a better Dave tomorrow than I am today. Simple enough, right? Except the world's freaking complicated. And I just don't understand how people think what they think sometimes. You know, and then it's crazy when you start digging and you start looking and you start actually seeing what's going on and you realize how fucked up people can be. Good Lord. But at the same time, you see how wonderful people can be. So how come there's got to be this clash? It's always good and evil. It really is. It's good and evil. And good and evil is actually inside each of us. And each of us individually. These are direct and indirect solutions. I'm getting back to what I started with. A direct solution is making change yourself. I'm actually understanding what the Dalai Lama means when he says, be the change that you want to see in the world. That means changing yourself. That means changing yourself internally and changing your perspective, changing the way you see things, changing the way you understand things. Because once you perceive things properly, then you can do the battle with the two angels. You know, you got the devil angel on one shoulder and you got the heavenly angel on the other shoulder, and then there's that battle going on, you know, and then there's the wolf story and all that sort of thing. But the whole thing is you can win depending on what you want to do. You know, either be evil or be good. I mean, don't be wishy-washy and in the middle. You know, we're all going to be sinners to a point. You know, we all got creature comforts and physical things that we kind of want, and you know, we'll fall to temptation from time to time. But the whole thing is if you see it for what it is, you can make proper choices. And you know, I'm just saying, if you're going to be evil, be evil. If you're going to be good, be good. But goddamn it, let's put it on the surface so we can do battle, and you can do that battle inside yourself. You just have to recognize it. So that's a direct solution. Direct solutions are things that you can do yourself. Okay? So, if there's poverty in the world, a way that you can help that is get involved with charities or you know, do things that are, you know, that are direct solutions, things that you actually participate in. You know, then an indirect solution, which sometimes indirect solutions are good too. An indirect solution is to donate money. Say you've got a really good paying job. And it won't hurt you to contribute, you know, a few $100 or even a few $1,000, you know, to a worthy charity that actually helps take care of people that are in poverty or having a tough time or, you know, trying to start over again. A bigger example of an indirect solution is protesting or being leftist, being socialist, and expecting the government to solve all your problems, or being religious to the point where you think the church should solve all your problems. You know, and it seems like if you look at history, you can see that society, the political environment, the powers that be, have really pushed for people to think of indirect solutions for the most part. They don't really want people to be individualistic. And that's where the difference comes in, because to be individualist means to focus more on direct solutions, to be able to change yourself, to be able to help people, other people directly, to solve problems directly with your own mind instead of protesting or voting or expecting, some government entity or church or somebody else to solve your problems for you, because that shit don't work. Not really. I mean, and if you do think it works, then please study some history and look at how it works, because it doesn't. Collectivism doesn't work. It destroys creativity. It destroys individualism. Destroys science. There's a lot of things that are going on in this world scientifically that most people don't even know about, don't even know are going on. There's actually people that think Q, okay, I mentioned Q, okay, I did. But there's some weirdos out there that actually think Q might be an artificial intelligence, and he's been loaded up with the intelligence of Philip K. Dick and Bill Cooper and, a lot of dead smart guys, and that Q is actually an artificial intelligence. I don't think so. A lot of my friends on the left don't even know who Q is, and most of that's because they only have the mainstream media to go by, and they unfortunately don't really even know what's really going on. Because there is a deep state. I've known that for a long time. What's really weird is I'm the conspiracy theorist that people used to laugh at 30 years ago. And I've actually had people tell me recently that, Dave, I used to think you were crazy. You're the least crazy of the bunch. Now I know. So anyway, maybe that's why I was able to come out of the PTSD, because I'm feeling comfortable. Things are starting to make sense. Except for the left. The left is it's making so little sense to me. Because it's socialist and collectivist, and it just destroys individuality, and it destroys humanity. And I believe that the things that we do best, the things that we can create, are from collaboration and communication and cooperation. But the whole thing is if you don't have individuals bringing stuff to the table themselves of an individual scientific creative nature, then what are you going to produce? Very little, because there's not much material to work with. So direct solutions are internal. Those battles with the two angels, the demon and the angel, good and evil, actually settling that within yourself, and then being able to actually master that in daily interactions, and those are your direct solutions. Say something to the person that needs to have something said to. Accept certain facts that you need to accept. These are direct solutions. Indirect solutions are expecting the government or the religion or somebody else outside yourself to solve those problems because it's just easier. So, hopefully, that's enough about indirect solutions. I want to emphasize again, Jesus Christ is a role model for me. I am not a Christian, but I have been told I'm a better Christian than most Christians, and that's mostly because I want what Jesus wants. And I personally consider myself a soldier in Jesus' army. By choice. And I can't be saved. The only person that can save me is me. And I think that's true for everybody. But Jesus Christ was a prophet. He was a bringer of a new way. And I think he's worth fighting alongside because, like I said, I want what Jesus wants. And what Jesus wanted was a better world where people communicate, collaborate, cooperate. And I shouldn't be I almost made a Bushism. Misunderestimated. I shouldn't be. I hope I'm not misunderstood and I shouldn't be underestimated. I'm not really an idealist. I'm more of a realist. And reality says that you just got to take the bull by the horns, and you got to live life like it's all you got. And don't expect other people to solve your problems for you. We have to help each other. And that's kind of my point, is we got to help each other. But at the same time, in the Bible it says, the Lord helps those who help themselves. So you have to make an effort. You got to have the courage of your convictions. And you got to believe in yourself. And you got to try to be righteous, because there is good in the world. And good finds good. It's the law of attraction. Which, I can't, sometimes I can't stand that new agey crap. Because there is a God. There's too many signs that say there is a God. And then God is inside all of us at the same time. So, I don't know. I don't know if I said what I wanted to say or not. But, anyway, there you have it. I'm pretty sure it's incomplete. Thanks to the three of you for watching. And have a wonderful day. Hope it stops raining soon. Love y'all. See ya.